How do I enable the text? The text bubbles.
That's in this patch?
Yeah, it's this badge.
Oh, I didn't bother to read it.
I'm trying to look for it. Logs. Chat bubbles. Chat bubble settings. Here we go. Enable chat bubbles.
That's under logs?
Yeah, log window settings. Because everything in chat related is related to the log window. So you go to character configuration and go to log window settings at the bottom.
Oh, when you said logs, I thought you meant like the logs.
Oh no,
Like
not the FF logs. No.
Me or like no one. I logged in really quick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're not gonna have that problem where like we can't load in anymore. Like that was like an Endwalker
Yeah, they've
release
they
exclusive
since
thing.
like, yeah, they since improved the servers to like
Did they?
prevent that from happening. Yeah, that was like the major thing that Yoshi P was talking about to work on, because they had like a smaller fan base before, and then Endwalker had to deal with that bullshit. So like, yeah, we're not gonna deal with that again, and the game just hasn't been as big as it was during that time. So that coupled with the increase in size, it's like we're not gonna really need to worry about that.
Nope.
Yep.
Be back.
Works for
Cutscene.
me. Okay. All right, let's start the story.
Up that's fine.
All right, here we go. Cutscene. Go. Let's start it up. Okay. If you have a moment, Tycho. Geode wants to take stock of the current crisis. Oblivion may be lacking the finer details in certain areas, so we'd like you to lend your perspective to the matter and to the conversation. Sorry to drag you into our meeting, but we need to get a better handle on the threats Alexandria is facing right now. Not at all. Much has happened since the state funeral, and a clearer idea of where things stand would be beneficial for us all. Yes, a recap, if you will. First things first, then let's discuss the state of the machine malfunctions. Every single sector reported instances of sentries attacking citizens without provocation, and vehicles suddenly becoming unresponsive to the controls. And while these malfunctions were resolved fairly quickly, they nevertheless resulted in a considerable number of injuries and deaths. But you haven't heard anything about new incidents since then, right? Right. No additional reports have been logged as far as I know. That's the good news. Bad news is I tried to take control of the soldiers when they started hurting people, but they wouldn't listen to me, even though I have the king's authority. Once things calmed down, I was finally able to make them give up their weapons, but if it happens again, I don't know if they'll ignore me like before. The King of Resolve's authority is about the highest there is. Who is this man that can override it with such impunity? Calyx. He lived in the age of the storm surge as I did. Okay. Lest you forget, he was known for his advancements in electro technology, and it was he who established preservation for the purpose of furthering his research. The wasting disease which afflicted him, however, was said to leave him scant years left to live. He must have chosen to undergo conversion into an endless, that he might continue his efforts into the present day. Preservation's early goals seemed noble enough, exploring treatments for Levin sickness, designing Everkeep's core systems, that sort of thing. Why harm the people he was ostensibly trying to help? I do not pretend to fully understand Calyx's motivations, only that he appeared incensed by what he saw as mankind's failings. He asserted that the strategy of adapting our species through generational succession was outdated, that evolution now requires us to forsake bodies of flesh in favor of eternal preservation. We've already seen how he's employed the simulant to convince Alexandrians that endless conversion is their only hope for survival. Endless eternal life is assured for the 5,000 who register their neo-regulators. But this is merely one part of Calyx's greater plan. He wants the key to interdimensional fusion. With that relic in his possession, he will draw ether from the relics and expand his efforts to create endless 1,000-fold. If we mean to foil Calyx's schemes, then our only option is to determine where he's hiding and put him down. Which fortunately is easier said than done. I've been scouring the terminals we found in the depths of Everkeep, but I failed to uncover even the slightest trace of his activities. Give me a little more time though, and I'm sure I can sniff him out. I'll help you. While Galuja and Shale are working on that, I think I'm going to take a look around town. I want to make sure no new problems have cropped up, as well as search for any information that might lead us to Calyx. You're welcome to come along. Another malfunction could happen at any time, and I'd be glad to have some brawlers at my back. That means there's going to be a problem. Count me in. Raha and the others are helping Oblivion patrol the other levels of the keep, so shall we stick to the streets of Solution 9? Sounds like a plan? Thanks, you two. I appreciate the company. I have to speak with the city's administrators about bringing in the Landsguard. I want our soldiers around to protect those who are moving to Tulialo. Alphano and Alize will be joining me for the meeting so that the three of us can cover that sector as soon as we're done. If I may, I'd like to join Tycho's group, if you'll have me. Yeah, bro, yeah, come along. The more mouths to ask questions, the merrier, as long as you're aware of the dangers. Thank you. I'll do my best not to be a burden. I'm more worried about you, Geode. Don't do anything stupid. You'll change your tune once we get back with the goods on Calyx. Then the drinks are on you. Come on, let's continue this outside. Okay. Good luck. Sorry. Internalized better manners. Talking with Geo brings back the good old habits. If I grew up faster, there'll be so much more I can do when I'm bigger like you. I'll do my utmost to ensure the happiness of Alexandria and his people. The city looks as though it's regained a sense of normalcy. Alas, the people will not soon forget recent events. Sorry, I was off in my own little world. Shall we get started? The people seem uneasy. Are you alright? Me? I'm well enough, given the circumstances. It was the Queen's fondest wish that her subjects remain shielded from the horrors of death, and so they were for the longest time. And the moment mortality once again becomes an unavoidable fact of life, they're greeted with an outbreak of bloody violence. Many are bound to give the endless alternative serious consideration. Indeed, and I do not blame them for that. It is only natural that such thoughts should come to mind. What I cannot forgive is the way Calyx wields fear and misery to manipulate people into making that choice. No one, not Calyx nor anyone else, should dictate how we cope with the specter of death. As one who lived as an Alexandrian, I wish to come and put the choices for this country's future back into the hands of its citizens. And you think we can handle that responsibility after all you've seen of us? It is what I've seen that has convinced me you can. I awoke 4 centuries later to find our people living and laughing beneath Alexandria's banner. Though surprised and bewildered, I was overjoyed to see it so. You all deserve to be happy. Well then. We best not let you down. Now, I suggest we move as a group. We don't know if or when a battle might find us. Oh, I believe someone came prepared for just such an eventuality. Oh, she's ready to fight, bro. Is that the grimoire you retrieved from the old castle? She's ready to fight, dude. Yup, my parents gifted it to me when I was a child. They were adamant that I should learn to protect the things important to me. I was fortunate enough to have a tutor in the arcane arts, so I lay claim to some small measure of skill. If that's the case, it might be better if we split into 2 groups after all. 'Twould certainly be more efficient for information gathering. I guess that makes sense. The 2 of you can take the west side of the recreation zone then. Aiko and I will take the east. Very well, we shall end our patrol at the plaza, just due past True Vale and await you there. Okay. Let's do the rounds. We'll see what's what and chat to the people that we meet along the way. Get special attention. Yep. Oh, we already see this. Are the sentries and air wheelers safe to be around now? I just know it's going to happen again, and maybe next time I'll be the one who dies in a horrible accident. I need a neo-regulator. Becoming endless is the only way. Even Queen's Fiend said so. How to get one? Maybe it's someone who's unsure to give me theirs. Ah, the memories. I used to drink around here all the time. I made sure not to overdo it when I had work the next day, but once we were past the busy season, or when the ladies weren't amenable to my company, well, you'd have to scrape me off the street outside in the morning or afternoon. The worst I ever got was on what should have been the worst day of my life, if only I could remember it. I was still wearing a regulator back then. It was also the day I first met Shale, though I guarantee she's forgotten it completely. You forgot the worst day of your life? Did you die? Did someone close to you die? You want to hear my story? Well, I appreciate you offering a sympathetic ear. There's not much to tell. You must know, a good friend of mine died when those machines went crazy. His air wheeler dropped right out of the sky and he didn't survive the crash. Damn fool wasn't wearing a regulator. I know that's not so strange these days, but he'd never bother with one. He was at peace with the idea of dying someday, and I thought I understood what that meant, until it happened. What has me in a fine mood, you ask? Well, I've just registered my new regulator. I was leery of becoming nothing but memories at first, but now that I've gone through that registration, I've never felt more at ease. Also, once it was done, the regulator displayed the current numbers. Of the 5,000 slots available, only 3,800 have already been filled. So if you're hesitant, you've not much time to make up your mind. Mark my words, friend. When there's only so few slots left, it's going to get very ugly. Yeah, Tycho, a word. I feel like there was a new factor in these stories we've heard, one we hadn't considered during our discussion with everyone in the back room. That people are still deathly afraid. That fights will likely break out over the neo-regulators. The fact that nearly 4,000 people have registered is worthy of its own report, but are you sure there wasn't anything else? That a victim of violence wasn't wearing a regulator? Yes, that's it. A vast majority of residents have always worn regulators, so it's not a detail we'd normally think about. With the supply of souls cut off, though, more and more people have been going without them. We need to look into the casualties of recent attacks and check whether or not they were equipped with regulators. Let's ask around the street over the east. It's pretty chaotic at the time, but maybe we'll find eyewitnesses who can help us confirm this is a pattern or not. Okay, so you're thinking they're only targeting people without regulators. Oh wait, what's this? It was once my job to deliver goods by hover cargo. That's why I know a fair number of names and faces throughout the city. The little ones who'd jump for joy when I brought them packages, the old lady who'd always greet me with a smile. I'd hate for anything bad to happen to them. Hello, how are you today? Please let me know if I can be of service. Citywide casualty data unavailable. Government officials are currently processing reports from all affected zones. You narrow it down to the recreation zone then. You must have some estimates on hand. Recalibrating parameters. Injured, 87 individuals. Casualties, 19 individuals. Casualties equipped with regulators, 0. Unsettled sanitation worker. You wish to know if the people who died in the machine rampage were wearing regulators? I'm sorry, but I was assigned to clear away debris. I didn't see any of the deceased. No bodies were present by the time I arrived, so I assumed the ushers had already done their work. I do remember there being patches of white dust scattered about that were quite a chore to clean up, but nothing worthy of mention. Psycho, I think it's time we rejoin Kryl and Sphene. I was half joking about my boast to Shale, but we may have stumbled upon something major here. We should share our findings and keep pursuing this avenue of inquiry. Didn't Kryl say to meet them in the plaza just outside the True View? Let's get going. Okay. Our patrol did not seem that more people wanted neo-regulars than before. There we go. So essentially, you're saying that the people who were killed by malfunctioning machines weren't wearing regulators. Yeah, they're being targeted. The numbers are still tentative and only apply to that one zone. We don't know how they'll stack up against the overall data, but this is definitely more than a coincidence. I think it's safe to say that anyone who had removed their regulators was a priority target. Now that you mention that, the person I was treating for injuries wasn't wearing one either. But why? Why are they being targeted over... Why else would you think? To force people who don't have it to... What? Okay, yeah. Based solely on the lack of a neo-regulator, we can't judge if a person has no desire to become an endless, or if they simply fail to acquire one of the limited devices. But those who wear no regulator at all, they have clearly rejected the old system of using souls to revive themselves. Put another way, they have chosen to live their lives in knowledge that death is an inevitability. The chances that such resolute people would wish to become endless are far lower, I would imagine. So Calyx has chosen those least likely to accept his vision as victims to stoke fear and panic. There you go, yep. But there was no need to kill anyone. With the way things were, the people were already fearful enough. He could have found 5,000 willing citizens without all this madness. Nope. He wants it quick. You make a good point. Perhaps this sowing of terror is in service to another scheme, or he had some other need for the lives he's taken. What if the dust found at various sites? Right, the sanitation worker's story. She saw no bodies, but mentioned piles of white dust. Dust, but no bodies? Now where have we heard that before? Do you recall when we went to save Aaronville from the sentries in the outskirts? That usher, Malachite, told us much the same thing. Yeah. When I arrived, I found no body, only a pile of dust, which the wind carried, quickly scattered. Confused, I questioned the residents, but none knew what had become of it. That both stories speak of missing remains is suspicious enough, but the shared mention of this dust is too much to ignore. In that case, we should confirm if this substance was present at other sites and attempt to ascertain its nature. Following this thread may lead us not only to an explanation for the missing bodies, but also the intent behind Calyx's murderous actions. Tycho, we need your help. I've lost control of the soldiers in the residential area. They might be trying to hurt people again. Oblivion members are on their way now, but are you close enough to join them? Yeah, I'm fine. Damn it. Our new investigation will have to wait. Let's go. Cool. Just take me straight to it. Yep. Oh hell no, bro.
どうにかここまで逃げてきたけど、その人が私をかばって。
武器は持っていないみたい。武装解除させたと言っていたものね。それでも人を襲えと命令を受けた。だから無理やり自分の体を使って。
近くを見てくる。こっちは任せた。
Their hair?
他にこの塔でレギュレーターをつけていない人はいる？
Oh, the regulars, yeah.
イサドラさんのところも確か最近。
Oh, shit.
二人はイサドラさんのところへ。
Oh, nice. Oh.
私はかすり傷なので、それよりイサドラさんを。
Oh shit, the mom's in bad shape. Ooh. The burger. Oh, that's blood, bro.
イサドラ。よかった。急車は外れてる。
Okay.
ごめんなさい。私がもっと早く来ていれば。安心して。私が絶対に助けるからね。
ありがとう、フードのお姉ちゃん。
Good old Chan.
お母さん、ずっとこのままなの？
今は寝てるだけ。しばらくしたらきっと目を覚ますよ。
よかった。ありがとう。お母さんの命をつないでくれて。
The promise of tomorrow. Hmm. What? Okay. She should recover in due course. I'm glad we arrived when we did. When I was sick and I couldn't move, my mother was always at my side, always keeping me company, and I'm going to do the same for her. Forgive me, I was reckless. You shouldn't have had to waste time tending my wounds as well. Did you see our other comrade back there? He stayed behind in the lobby, but I heard the sounds of fighting. I'm sorry, he must have fallen protecting the residents. Yep. Our comrade, you think he may have been struck down? If he's wounded or worse, I should go to him. Wait, please, it isn't safe and you still need to rest. Would you stay with Milos and watch over Isadora for me? We will attend to your friend. Thank you. Please be careful. Oh wait. What? That man, this is awful. Why? Why did this happen? Isadora's going to be alright then. I'm so glad. I just finished my administrations here. Our Oblivion friend was beyond saving, I'm afraid. That brave soul, he gave his life to save another. He died protecting me. I don't understand why any of this is happening. That sentry was behaving normally like any other, then all of a sudden it tried to kill me. Weapons or no, Calyx commanded them to commit murder. Is it over? We came as soon as Wayake was sent word. I'm sorry, by the time we arrived it was too late. And Geode would be in trouble too. Once we have this radius locked down, we need to find him. But why? Has something happened? Possibly, we're not sure what, but he stopped responding to our communications. We need to prioritize securing the residential sector though, at least until we regain control over the sentries. Then we should search for Geode. I agree, since most Oblivion members have sworn off regulators, if our theory holds true, that they could be prime targets for the next attack. Please do what you can to shepherd the residents to safety, but avoid the sentries at all cost. Our thanks. Here, take these communicators. Okay. We've made modifications to them to prevent Calyx from intercepting the signal, and have been using them to coordinate movements with allies in the vicinity. Wayake has one too, so I'll ask her to keep hailing Geode. Good luck and stay safe. Go Bungwo. Geode said he would sweep the surrounding area, so he shouldn't have ventured too far. Let's get going. Okay. Let's leave matters here to us. We'll see to our fallen comrade and make sure no one else comes to harm. Well, when we find Geode soon, I know he's possibly he's possibly saving people with one hand and fighting off threats with the other, but I can't help but worry. I thank your Malala friend for me. I would still be a helpless mess if not for her encouragement. Okay. East, okay. Geode, answer me. No response. Oh shit, everyone's gathered around there? You see no sign of Geode. The neighboring residential radius would be the next logical place to look. Oh shit, here we go.
だ。応答できなくて悪かった。
ジオード、よかった、無事だったんですね。今どこですか？
隣の居住
The
宅だ。
radius next door.
エント
The
ランスに
lobby
いた
is
やつを
secure.
片付けた。2階を見回ったら5、10。塵だ。
Sure.
どうしたんですか？塵って
連中。
Collecting souls. They're draining the bodies of corporeal aether.
まで吸い尽くしてやがる。
Oh shit.
塵は人
The
だ。
dust we saw was all that was left of the victims. They must have modified the soul cells.
Son.
Oh hell no, bro.
おいあんた、逃げるぞ。ここはもう。
Oh shit.
騙したのか。
Because they can transform into people.
悪い。あとは頼む。
Creepy shit.
あっちの塔にはいなかった。多分この先。ジオードさん、いるの？
残念だよ。最後にもう一体分持ち帰れるかと思ったんだけど。お前たちが来たからには諦めるしかなさそうだ。
カリュクス、君は何をしているの？何のためにこんなひどいことを
？5000人のトワ人を作り出すために必要なエーテル。お前だったら どこから調達する？
Sacrifice 5,000.
どういうこと？
Oh, wow.
鍵を手にするまで共造世界には頼れない。なら手近なところで済ませるしかない。現在この国に残っている住民のうち 7% をエーテルとして回収すれば5000人を遠人化できる。 11% なら向こう800年は安定した稼働が見込める算段だ。どうせいずれは朽ちる肉体。永遠の生を選ばない以上、今エーテルに返しても一緒だよ。時間も惜しいし、無駄な戦闘をするつもりはない。この機体じゃ結果は分かりきっているしね。ちなみに殺戮をやめると言えば鍵を渡してくれるのか？
You would only seek other victims.
だろうな。俺なりの頭の悪い質問だった。じゃ、仕事に戻るよ。お前から鍵を奪うのは大変なんだ。
Can't, there are no words. These pile of dust, these ashes, and the soul cell he left behind, was that his twisted way of returning Geo to us? Damn you, Calyx. Damn you and your careless cruelty. He was our friend. Even so, some might say every death was justified if it meant 5,000 endless could continue their immortal lives, and if a reflection's stolen aether allowed for more endless, why, that too would be a noble sacrifice for the greater good. Who would think that? Not I. Certainly not I. We know only too well, there is naught noble in this sacrifice. We have to stop him. We have to find Calyx and put an end to this madness as soon as possible. And under no circumstances can we let the key fall into his possession, Tycho. It falls to us. We must, we will thwart his plans here in Alexandria before he can terrorize innocents in reflections elsewhere. We should return to the back room. Shale and the others need to know what happened. Yes, I'll ask Wayake to meet us there as well. He's gone. Yep. He is gone.
僕が機械兵を制御できていれば。
グルージャのせいじゃない。悪いのは全部あいつだよ。どうしてこんな理不尽なことを。計画って。私たちは今ここで生きてるのに、命を何だと思ってるの。許せない。カリクスも、いつも何もできない私も。待って、どこに行くの。頭を冷やすだけ。分かってる。バカな真似はしない。あなたはここで休んでいて。私がノスタルジアさんについているわ。ありがとうございます。
皆さんとジオードが駆けつけてくれたおかげで被害を最小限に食い止めることができたんです。救われた命が確かにありました。それに僕たちが掴んだ手がかりと皆さんが持ち帰ってくれた情報を合わせればカリクスの潜伏先がわかるかもしれません。けどすみません。ほんの少しでいいので僕たちに前へ進むための時間をくれませんか。
ジオード。
We made a swift patrol of the other levels and confirmed that Calyx had carried out a number of targeted attacks, all to harvest more ether, it seems. I've been told that the members tasked with keeping residents safe returned with the body of their comrade. They all risked so much. The comrade gone, so some days it's almost more than I can bear. Geode he was an older brother to Nostalgia and me. Shale knew him longer though, and it's surely taking it the hardest, and that's on top of what happened to Kakua. Yep. Do you think you could check on her, see how she's doing? She'll always like to put a brave face if it's me or my sister. I got back control of the sentries probably around the same time Calyx left. I'm sorry I couldn't stop him. I assume you know better by now, but I hope you're not planning to try anything alone. We're all here with you. I've spoken with Woklamet. They've cut their meeting short to deal with the aftermath of this latest violence. Apologies, my mind was elsewhere. We need to press on with the hunt for Calyx, but I can't seem to focus. I should have been better for the... Is there anything I can... Is there anything I can do? You can't help yourself, can you? Still, I appreciate the concern. Kakua used to say the best thing to do with grief was to let it all out. I think I'll take myself over to the earth and sky and say my goodbyes to Geode. Why don't you come along? I could use someone to blubber to if you've a shoulder to spare. Right then, let's get out of Everkeep for a bit. It's a fair trek on foot, so I've arranged for a couple of air-wheelers. They've had their communication modules removed, so even Calyx shouldn't be able to seize control of them. Say the word and we're set off. Ready? We'll be flying close to the Plions, so follow my lead. Okay. These Genalt babies will find a smoother ride in all of Everkeep. For years, I've taken out one for a turn whenever I needed it to lighten my mood. Geo would come along too, and we'd end up racing. Did that surprise you? Our friendship always had a competitive edge. We would often talk about how one day we might fly our wheelers outside the dome. Almost there. Be sure the ground is clear before you touch down. That helped clear my mind a touch. I think, you know, Tycho, you might be the first person I've ridden with who wasn't an Oblivion recruit. As far as I remember, at least, the memories from my regulator days aren't exactly reliable. Come on, let's head inside. Hopefully the way will be clear of pests today. Just our luck. Thanks. We can usually avoid such encounters, but sometimes they wander in and block the only path. Not that it slowed you down at all. I've never seen you fight up close before, and the surveillance feed clearly didn't do it justice. Hopefully that keeps the route clear for a while, shall we? Yep.
これまでも仲間を亡くした時にはよくここで思い出話をしてたんですよ。ジオードとカフキワさんと3人で。
Whenever we lost a comrade, the three of us would come back here to reminisce. Me, Geode, and Kakua.
一杯どうです？
Will you raise a glass?
あら？
You came here too? Hey.
お二人ともどうしてここに？
It's the old hideout.
ああ、やっぱり来た。よかったら一緒におしゃべりでもしませんか？
はあ。では少しだけ。そういえばうちの組織って数十年前に創設者たちが謎の失踪を遂げた後、カフキワさんが立て直したって聞いてますけど、シェールさんとジオードも再建メンバーだったんですよね。そのあたりの話聞かせてくださいよ。興味ありますよね。昔の二人がどんな感じだったかとか。
懐かしい。僕とジオードの出会い自体が再建を始める直前だったんですよ。当時の僕はレギュレーターをつけていて、誰か大切な人を亡くしたばかりでした。ずっと続けてきたアダプターの仕事も辞めて、バーの接客なんかで適当に日銭を稼いでたんです。そんなある日、客としてやってきたジオードと口論になって、初対面なのになぜか殴り合いの喧嘩に。
Bruh.
なんでそんなことに？
理由は酔っててさっぱり覚えてないんですよ。まあ僕もジオードも似た者同士で誰かに当たりたかったんでしょうね。それで二人してバカみたいにぶっ倒れてたところ、通りがかった妙な機会に思いっきり説教されました。体を大事にしろだの、通行人の邪魔だのって。
今のシェールさんからは想像できないわ。その妙な機会ってもしかしてカフキワさん？
Yep, that's Kakiwa.
はい。彼女、一通り僕らの世話を焼いた後でこう言ったんですよ。自分はゾラージャの侵攻から外の世界を守りたいんだって。大事な息子が旅する世界が美しいままであってほしい。自暴自棄になるくらいなら手を貸してくれないかって。本当衝撃でした。それまで障壁の外のことなんて気にも留めてなかったし、おまけに自分はもう死んでるだなんてめちゃくちゃですよ。けど僕とジオードは見たくなってしまったんです。彼女の意志がつなぐ未来を。
ジオードがよく言ってました。俺はカフキアさんと出会って初めて誰かのことを覚えていたいと思うようになったって
言ってましたね、かっこつけて。
あ、でもその時点ではまだオブリビオンと名乗ってたわけじゃないんですよね。え、そうだったの？私てっきり。
カフキワさんは最初からかつてのオブリビオンを、クルルさんのご両親の意志を引き継ごうとしていたわけではないんですよ。それどころか存在すら知らなかった。ただ その頃からすでに反体制派の存在を予測してはいました。死者の記憶を蘇らせるなんて自然の摂理から外れた行いには必ず異を唱える人がいたはずだって。そうした人たちと協力できればと考えて、基幹システムへの不正アクセスの痕跡を探し始めて見つけたんですよ。ネオンスタインの奥にある不自然な区画をね。オーナーのメランコリーさんが言うには、店を譲り受けた時から開かずの間だったとか。
それがバックルーム。
The back room, yeah.
そう。隠し扉から強引に入ってみたものの、アジトはもぬけの殻でしたけどね。でも設置されていた機器にはオブリビオンと名乗る組織の活動記録が残されていた。それを見て彼らの意思を継ぐことを決めたというわけです。
Okay.
私の両親とカフキワさんの思いがそこでつながったのね。そしてそこに加わったのがシェールさんとジオードだった。
もっとも僕らだけでは力不足だった。あなた方が戦ってくれたからここまで来られたんです。大切な人たちを失うことは苦しいけど、こうして誰かと楽しかった日々を思い出すことは嫌いじゃありません。思い出すたびにみんなは記憶の中で笑っていて孤独を忘れさせてくれる。僕が誰かと生きた記憶は僕だけのもの。生きて前に進むために必要な道しるべなんです。さて、そろそろ任務に戻りましょう。皆さんありがとうございました。
いえ、むしろお礼を言いたいのは私の方です。辛いことには変わりありませんが、少しだけ落ち着きましたから。オブリビオンに名を連ねた皆さんのためにもカリクスの野望を阻止しましょうね。
Okay, hold up. I need to move the laundry. Okay. I am ready. Continue the plot. I appreciate you helping me through this. And not only the grief, you helped me see that my comrades mean even more to me than I realized, which only fuels my determination. I'll be spending every waking moment working to bring Calyx to account for his crimes. I'll do my part, then you do yours. Oblivion needs you. Excuse me. This time I went back to locating Calyx's lair. I have a new strategy in mind, but it remains to be seen if it will aid in narrowing down the possibilities. I'll ask Kryl for help. I need to re-examine the data, starting with that of her parents. After all, they were the first to break away from preservation and establish an organized resistance with Oblivion. There must be something in there that can point us in the right direction. What are your plans, Tycho? Tycho, is that you? Apologies for calling suddenly. Very convenient. I've been making the rounds in the outskirts, and I can't help but feel as though something is amiss. Can I ask you to join me? Your perspective would be most appreciated. It can wait until you finish attending to Shale, of course. It seems your plans have been decided for you. Go on. I have others to speak with before I return to the back room. As long as the memories remain, this wound in my heart will never fully heal, but it might be better that way. To feel something, even pain, is to remember that they lived, and to know that I am still alive. Good. Tycho, thank you for coming. As I mentioned, I would benefit from your worldly experience. Perhaps it is my imagination, but the townspeople appear to be acting oddly. That is, even considering the current state of affairs. As I am yet unfamiliar with the outskirts, I thought you might be better equipped to judge if their behavior is unusual or not. Would you speak with them and see what you think? Though I hope to be proven wrong, I fear something is not right here. Okay. Okay. There you go. You're not wearing a regulator. Don't you know the end is coming? Well, it's your life to lose. Me? I got myself one of those Neo regulators and registered a little while ago. As soon as I did, a display appeared showing the number of registered users. Right now it's sitting at 4,168. The upper limit was 5,000, wasn't it? Seems the total shot shot up right after those machines malfunctioned. It's only a matter of time before everyone's registered. I pity those who weren't chosen, but I am going to be an endless. I'm going to evolve and live happily ever after. Okay. Typical. But let's see. Oh, please tell me you brought more Neo regulators. Officially. They've all been handed out already, but I've heard rumors there are a few left over. Surely the government still has some? Or perhaps Queen's Fiend? I may not look it, but I was a hunter once. Back then, I hardly gave death a second thought, but now that I know the truth, it's all I think about. There has to be a way to hold on. There has to. Greetings. I remember when you visited with Queen's Fiend. Come to check on our well-being, have you? Well, I can say that things are rather stressful out here as well. Without knowing if or when our machinery might turn murderous, the specter of death is ever present. People are terrified, and the clamor for neo-regulators has reached a fever pitch. I personally was fortunate to have claimed a new device early on, and have long since completed the registration. Death has no hold over me now. Now I must begin my prayers. The darkness grows closer, grows deeper, and we must cast it out. The fuck, they getting religious now? Damn. What do you think? Was I right to worry? Their fear is palpable. Yes, that's exactly it. The people are overwhelmed by uncertainty and fear, and with each new registration, that fear inside them grows more insistent. How long until it drives them into full-blown panic? Taiko, can you come to resolution? We have a problem. I'm already here with Lamati and Alphano. It sounds like she wants us there in a hurry. We should go. Okay. Let's see what's up. Solution now. Here we go. Oh shit.
呼び
Did
出
she
して
say
悪いわ
something?
ね。ちょっとあれを見てほしいのよ。
That's the Queen Eternal.
常にあなたの傍らにいます。
That's disturbing.
勤勉に働いていても報われないまま死ぬかもしれない。明日成し遂げられる偉業があっても今夜のうちに死ぬかもしれない。
Fuck. Eerie ass public announcement?
平穏と幸福に満ちているものでさえ次の瞬間には死んでしまうかもしれないのです。
Uh-huh. They're just gonna terrify them
肉体
even
は
more.
脆弱です。あなたの心臓や脳、あらゆる臓物は毎秒ごとにダイスを振って停止と続行を選んでいる。この瞬間に健在であることも良いことも正しいことも何一つとして加味されはしません。理不尽な選択です。恐ろしい結末です。それがまさしく死というものです。
ゴッサン殿との会合を終えたら流れていたんだ。おそらくはこれも。
火力ス。
あなたの恐れを恥じる必要はありません。それこそが死を克服せんとする原動力となるのです。人類を次の形に進めましょう。人類にプリザベーションをもたらしましょう。さあ、祈り、願い、渇望してください。私たちは永遠人になるのだと。
Are they gonna make the neo-regulator wearers fight the regulators?
そうだとも。変わること、そのための最初の一歩は怖いかもしれない。でもきっとこれは正しい進化だ。俺は乗るぞ。利用登録をする。
ウクラマト様、ちょうどいいところに来てくれました。俺たちをトライオラに移住させてくれませんか？
ご
の国にいたら命がいくらあっても足りません。機械兵や機械がいつ暴走するかもわからないし、トワ人になろうにも黒いレギュレーターが手に入らないんじゃ逃げるしかありませんよね。
Yeah, it's fucking dangerous.
ここを出て行って解決するなら誰だってそうしてたさ。だが放送でも言ってただろう。生きている限り死はつきまとってくる。どんな場所に行っても誰と暮らしていても克服の機会はもう二度と訪れない。
お前自分は黒いレギュレーターを持ってるからって。
今トラル幽霊隊がこっちに向かっていて、みんなが安全に避難できるように手はずを整えてる。トライオラは全面的に支援する。だから落ち着いてくれ、頼む。アレクサンドリアを、みんなを助けたい。私に何ができる？他の誰でもない今の私に。
First those deadly malfunctions and now a city-wide announcement. He has spent considerable effort recruiting his 5,000 endless, perhaps more than necessary even. We had the hopefuls who descended on Lamati's dispersed for now. We could see tempers in the crowd were starting to fray. This latest wave of attacks may not have been as widespread, but people are reaching their breaking point. We have to stop Calixon soon. My apologies, the sign is not responding to any of our attempts to change the display or switch it off. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in time. Kryl told me everything that happened while we were away. Alex has access to the core system, which means that if he chose to do so, he could deploy the soldiers beyond the barrier. Even if our people learn to live with death and decide to leave the dome behind, they will not be beyond his reach. Yet if it serves to allay their fears even a little, I beg you, Waklamat, please let them shelter in Tulialo. We will welcome any and all who want to come. We've already begun evacuations and will be able to pick up the pace once the land guards arrive. In which case, we had best spread out and keep an eye on the crowds. The mood is tense and we must prepare for possible violence. If you happen to determine where Kylix is hiding, though, we'd be ready to move at a moment's notice. Surely we'll find a clue of some kind soon. He can't elude us forever. Violence and fear. This is not the future she envisioned for her nation. You give so much of yourselves to aid those in need, I must endeavor to find my own small way to help. Tuliala would gladly welcome every last Alexandrian with open arms. But what of the nation the late queen was so desperate to preserve? What of that bright haven of peace and laughter? Uklamat. I won't stand here and let her legacy be sullied any further. I will protect Alexandria, and that was the promise I made her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? I saw myself in her, I suppose. We both felt the people's joy as our own, yet alone we lacked the strength to protect them. There is much that I love in this world, too much for me to take in my arms and keep safe, and that made me afraid. I wanted I needed someone who shared that love and fear, so together we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I just wish that we could have been friends. So when she turned to me in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future, I swore that I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friend you needed. I will be yours as well, Sphene. Whenever you fall or struggle to rise, I'll come running to the rescue, and you do the same for me. That's how we protect the things we love. That's how we'll protect Alexandria. You're right. You're right. How could we? We'd not be where we are now without you. Right, we got a bit sidetracked there. We should probably be on our way. Do we patrol, or see if Shale needs a hand? There you all are, okay. Convenient. Very convenient. Galuja. Splendid, we were afraid we'd miss you. Alize and the others said you were here. Good news, Tycho, we finally found a chink in Calix's armor. We discovered laboratories in Everett Keep's 10th level that once housed a preservation initiative. Containment Complex 1029, it's called, and it's been falsely registered as a distribution center. In reality, it hasn't recorded any traffic in decades. We don't think this is where Calix is hiding as such, but it may well contain clues that will point us in the right direction. I'm sorry it took so long just to get this far. If you're interested, what do you say we all go and check it out together? Okay, yep. Thank you for all your hard work. This is a huge step forward. And up. We need to take the lift to get to the complex. I've cleared this expedition with the relevant authorities and have one of our people waiting to operate the said lift. Let's not keep her waiting. Okay. Dungeon time. Dungeon time. Because this sounds like dungeon time. Yep. Dungeon time. This is called the Overkeep. Shale made me her assistant. She was teaching me the basics of data management. It sounds like Galuja played a big part in this breakthrough. I'll be sure to treat him to a fine feast once this is all over. I'll share the method we used to find the containment complex once we're inside. It wasn't actually all that different to the story of how we stumbled across the back room. Preservation laboratories, I shudder to think at what they were researching, but this is no time to be squeamish. An institute on preservation scale would have had many such faculties and facilities in the city. Yet I can't help but wonder if this one is where my parents worked. Okay. Ready to head on up. Next stop, the 10th level. Is it not dungeon time?
ここがプリザベーションの研究室の一つ。
暗くてよく見えねえな。
ちょっと待ってくださいね。回路にエネルギーを通してと。
あ、着いた。 さすがに空気がよどんでいるわね。もう長い間使われていないようだから。
ここを見つけられたのはクルルさんとグルージャのおかげなんですよ。
私の耳飾りに黄金鏡の扉の制御コードが記録されていたでしょ。あの扉がプリザベーションの組み上げたものなら、当然それを操るコードにも彼らの痕跡があると考えたの。
実際九段のコードを丹念に調べてみたら、製造者を示す記述が残っていました。それと同じ記述を制御コードに含んでいる扉がないか、エバーキープ中の扉という扉にアクセスして調べたんですよ。そして調査開始から1860個目にして、ようやくこの放棄された施設に行き着いたというわけです。グルージャが手を貸してくれて助かりました。
シェールってば、僕が休んでる間もずっと調べてたんだよ。
Sounds like you need one of your notes energy tonics.
あれはむしろ体に悪い気がしてるんですが、気持ちだけもらっておきますよ。ともかく僕たちだけでできるのはここまで。ここからは皆さんのご協力が必要なんです。
手分けして探してほしいものがあるの。うまくいけばカリュクスの潜伏先を突き止められるはずよ。もちろん協力するよ。でも私たちがここに来たことってカリュクスに感づかれないのかな。
可能性は高いでしょうね。望むところですよ。
You all know our main objective. We're here to pick up Calix's trail, and I've learned of a certain device that should help us do just that. I'll explain how as we proceed, but according to the information I was able to dredge up, the device in question should have been installed in the director's office. Now as for where that might be, yes, this map matches my data. This room we're in is the Researcher's Commons, located in the western side of the complex. The director's office is northeast of here. We should cut across this circular chamber in the middle. Yes, we should, but fortunately for us, the interior door is locked. We'll need a security key with the appropriate clearance to open it. Judging by the mechanism, it'll probably be a card of some kind. Can't you, work some electro magic? I'll try my best, but this type of lock is well before my time. It may take a while to crack it. And in case I can't, you might want to look around and see if anyone left a security card behind. Considering the state of the place, it does seem like they abandoned it in some haste. I shouldn't be surprised if we found one. Very well, let's get to searching, shall we? I expect we'll have the most luck looking where the researchers keep their personal belongings. Okay. You begin searching. Close cooperation will be necessary to overcome the obstacles barring your path forward. Helpful hints will appear in a different color. Pay attention to the information provided should you find yourself unable to proceed. Okay. An actual puzzle. Okay, well, I mean... Oh, okay, got it. What? Level 1. You hold the card-shaped object up to the scanner. You did it. And good thing too, I was getting nowhere with the outdated circuitry. I'm curious though, why would they abandon a facility like this? It was run by Director Demetrius, or so the terminal there told me. Perhaps there are more answers to be had once we venture further inside. Then let's continue onwards. The door to the director's office is across the central hub. Wait. $10.29 registered as the material distribution center. Keep this in mind and conduct yourself accordingly, both inside and outside the facility. Each employee must perform their tasks within their designated workrooms, their commons, the proto lab, or the Deutero lab. Entrance into another workroom without official clearance is strictly prohibited. Carry your security card at all times. Your clearance level indicates the areas to which you have access. Equip your regulator at all times. Due to the highly confidential nature of the research materials and other data managed in this complex, preservation retains the ownership of and the rights to modify the memories of all registered personnel. That's way too crazy, bro. Access denied. Please log into your personal account to view. Demetrius, Eosfer, redacted. Bro. Wait, who was the complex director? Was Demetrius. Protolab chief was Eosfer. Deutero chief was like not there. Okay, removed for some reason. Looks like every room has can be accessed from this hub. This must be the door to the director's office. Go ahead and try the key card. Not a single soul here besides us. Like going by the room labels on the map, we haven't entered any of the actual labs yet. A little locked door. No good. Maybe we need a different card. Scanner's demanding a level 3. As much as the delay chased me, we'll just have to comb through the nearby rooms. Okay. The way this room is set up, the canisters inserted into that large device looks to be a soul cell. Could this be where they conducted their experiments to create Endless? But we could probably spend days investigating this complex. Finding a way into the director's office must take precedence. Speaking of which, Galuja mentioned a locker over in the corner that he couldn't open. Perhaps you could take a look. The results of experiment 158 showed a marked improvement in their ether extraction rates. At last, we have achieved the target value set by Master Calyx. Though I will become endless as per our Ascendance protocols, I will preserve this historic number along with my few remaining worldly effects. Preserve the number. 158, okay. Gene fuels into a soul cell. I'm reminded of my imprisonment by the Empire. Surely this device wasn't made to hold people. Yeah, it definitely was. Please excuse my impatience. The means to track down Calyx are close, and I'm itching to get my hands on them. These notes seem to be about the research they did here. Let's take a look. Experiment 148. Submitting inference candidate 201930 to be considered for efficiency procedure review. Experiment 158, maximum value of 11509 recorded. Comparative study to be included in the report. Alright then. One more. Experiment 163, the new proposal reviewed a result of 9834, decreased value verified. I have no idea what any of that means. That makes sense later on. Yep. I'm gonna need those later. So hold up. Say that shit again. I'm just gonna take a picture of that. Okay, oop. 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 Preserve the number, yep. Today I began my employment at Preservation. The organization was unfamiliar to me, but when the recruitment letter arrived, I had a gut feeling that this work would be far more fulfilling than any orthodox medical practice. My instincts were right. Master Calix's philosophy is the refined ideal of notions I've only ever vaguely entertained, that mankind must evolve beyond the shackles of its flesh and blood existence. I had a meeting with Director Demetrius today. I've heard others praise his genius intellect, yet he seems but a guttering candle in comparison to Master Calix's blinding brilliance. This morning I was permitted to access the top floor and observe the workings of living memory. As predicted, the shortage of aether required to sustain the Endless is reaching critical levels, yet Queen Sphene insists on continuing her ineffectual flailing. Our Malala colleagues, including the Protolab chief, have been behaving in a decidedly suspicious manner of late. The Protolab chief. The guy that was redacted. Should I report my concerns to the director? From tomorrow, I have been registered. I've been assigned to assist with the research project in the Deutero lab. We were scheduled to conduct a major experiment, the details of which I have been kept ignorant. It would seem prudent to back up my memory data. He's gone. The locker door is shut, but the number suggests that inputting the correct combination would open it. You glean over the attempt to, yeah. Select the number keys in the pad to put in a combination up to 5 digits, and then press the confirm key. Okay. Five, 3, 8. This one. Yep. 1. 1. 5. 0. 9. Easy. The locker pops open. Inside you discover a level 2 security card. Psycho, you got the locker open. And you found another security card. But does that say level 2? We needed level 3, didn't we? Yes, but it should still open more doors for us to explore. You did well, Tycho. These Preservation members led such surprisingly normal lives, leaving notes, losing their cards. I imagine they'd be more, what's the word? Bloodless, mechanical? My parents were once part of Preservation, if you recall. It would seem the researchers who agreed to Calix and his philosophy underwent the conversion to endless entities. But I assume those who could not, or would not, eventually left the organization altogether. Oh, I almost forgot. The researchers kept journals in their data tablets. The one I read doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex, and afterwards it was decided that everyone would become endless. The writer was happy about this. You can tell how much they admired Calix and his work. the entries ended after that, but maybe you can read more in the other tablet there. Right, let's move this investigation to another room. Well, we have the Deutero lab and the maintenance facilities left to search. Both are accessed via the southeast corridor. Okay. Which will hopefully yield before our new security card. I'll take the old one if you like. Don't have any more use for it. Okay. Yep. Skim through it again. Yep. Yep, remember that. Director Demetrius. Started working with memory. The shortage of Aether was required to sustain the endless, reaching critical levels. The Queen's Fiend still wants to do it, yep. Our colleagues, including the Protolab Chief, had been behaving in a suspicious manner of late. Should I report my concerns? From tomorrow, I've been assigned to assist the research project at the Deutero lab. We were scheduled to conduct a major experiment. The details of which I have been kept ignorant. It would seem prudent to back up my memory data. Yeah. Something big was about to happen. And they backed up their data, their memory. Okay. Calix hasn't bothered to show his face yet? I see. Maybe he hasn't noticed us, or maybe he's just watching and waiting. What else do they have in this place? If I read the map right, it must be a lot smaller than the Ueyawada facility. The scanner awaits. Hold the keycard up. That seems not everyone who joined preservation became endless right away. There must have been research that required physical bodies. And they got dusted. If there are others besides my parents who left preservation, where might they be now? A scanning device. Okay. Here you go. Swipe. Yes, it opened. Should we go with the Deutero lab or facilities? Let's start with the lab. Shouldn't the security card open this door as easily as the last one? How strange this door is not lit up like the others. What's the sign say? Shale, there doesn't seem to be any power here. No, not at all. It's possible the energy supply of this room is on a separate conduit, which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here, there's a sign above this card scanner. In case of emergency, backup data can be rerouted from facilities. Facilities room is down the other branch. Okay. Oh shit, it's a puzzle. Oh good, the terminal lit up. That means we have power in this room. But the Deutero lab must have greater amounts of energy to operate. What kind of experiments were they conducting here? Oh, it's the PlayStation signs. Those are some big flashy floor tiles. I wonder what they're for. This room was for managing the power supply and utilities. I hope they kept security cards here as well. Okay, here we go. Engaging power supply. Oh good, it's returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Shale? That's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes, and by the looks of it, the same model as the one used in Heritage Found. But how does it send power to the other labs? Oh, I see. Yeah, it's a circuit on the floor. The energy cables attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall directly to the Deutero lab, which means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable. of these figures on the floor. Could this be the circuit we need to reconfigure it? I believe you have the right of it. Use the control panels to set into each of the tiles. We create an unbroken path for the power to follow. Yep. Which I wouldn't give for an instruction manual. Indeed, if you could look around for any written procedures, I'd keep digging through the terminal's directories. Might I also ask someone to operate the generator? I can do it. I'll use that type of machine. I'll use that type of machine before. Then would you be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path, Tycho? The rest of us can help by supplying Tycho with whatever information might be helpful, might be found in the circuitry configuration. You just want me to change the shape, the shape itself. I'm not rotating the shapes. Okay. So we can do this. Yep, like that. That? Okay, cool. You have reconnected all the circuits. Okay. Yeah, I don't need your hints, okay. It worked. We did it, Tycho. The Digital Lab should now be fully operated. Well done, everyone. If I may, Shale, can we access a certain data log before moving on? I was checking the storage shelves, and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation, the early days is the title. Okay. Okay. Of course, it'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. It looks to be a text-based account. I'll read it out. Preservation, an Alexandrian Institute for Technological Development, was founded by Calix, an 11-year-old child prodigy. Approval for establishing the organization came during Alexandria's involvement in the storm surge, with Calix's designs for new defensive solutions funded in large part by the Treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calix funneled Preservation's resources towards the perfection of memory storage. Research into this field continued even after the storm surge came to an end, with Calix eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So this account is from before he embraced his endless existence, hundreds of years ago. I met him only once, before the storm surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Calix could not have been more than 10 years of age and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness, yet still he published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was aware of his achievements. Okay. Yeah, okay. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So it was that when war came to our kingdom, My father was quick to commit his unwavering support to the somber youth and his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence brought the death of both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by my sudden succession to the throne, I suspect they spared me the reports on endless research and other less urgent matters. So he had no way of knowing what kind of person Calix was changing into. Did he change? I wonder. Perhaps he has ever been the type to value ideals over compassion, and I failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs that mortality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from this fate. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? If I've done my job correctly, the door to the Deutero lab should be accessible now. I'll give everything a once-over just to be sure. Everything we read in this place sings Calix's praises. The people who worked here must have truly idolized him. Had his own body not been fated to fail him so young, would Calix have pursued his endless project with such fervor? That Calix survived the war was in no small part thanks to the defensive measures developed by preservation. In that regard, I shall always be grateful. Yes, the door is power now. Wait. The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. The security card, if you please. Oh, and a quick prayer that a shorted wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. Good luck. Don't get fried. Smooth the silk. Let's head inside and see what awaits. Let's see what we got. Gods above. Isn't that... That's the key! The key to interdimensional fusion? That looks to be a schematic on the monitor. And they used it to make another key, but isn't it missing the shard inside like the one Tycho has? Yeah, we may have been laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Malala relic. Once this treasure came into its possession, preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all the vessel's components were constructed here, so what might that tell us? The crystal itself is the key. This is just the device they made to control it. That would be the logical conclusion. Yes, it is as my parents explained. The key remains shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented it with electro, but never grasped the technology's underlying principles. To this day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion. Not who imbued the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Now it makes sense. Calix can track the key because its vessel was made by preservation. I believe there is much we may learn in this room. On our next visit, I'll have to enlist Ishtola's assistance for a thorough investigation. I too am curious about many great things, but pinning down Calix's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully there is a security card here that grants access to the director's office. The research conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of the personnel must have belonged to the organization's upper echelons, and that means higher security clearance, okay? We should spread out and look for any cards they left behind. Remember, anything less than level 3 is no good to us. What's the crystal? It's probably just a fucking soul crystal. Cameras or anything to go by. This lab is under constant surveillance. I'll scan the recordings to try to spot where people left their security cards. Hopefully we'll get lucky. Of course it's not here, but... Why were they making so many vessels? Did the other ones not work properly? I'll search through these drawers. One of us is bound to find something, I'm sure of it. Maybe someone left a card on a shelf somewhere. I keep holding out hope that I find some evidence of my parents here, despite knowing there is none. I found a security guard. That's a stroke of luck. All of it isn't exactly what we needed. Nice work, Tycho. Well, level 3. That should get us to the director's office. But what is it that we're hoping to find in there again, Shale? You say you were saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right. I haven't properly explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. After we discovered this ostensibly abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation, which detected a connection to an outside network. When I traced the data's routing, I confirmed traffic from a web of Everkeep's security cameras. Okay. Traffic from a web of Everkeep security cameras, okay. Considering the way Calyx is always one step ahead of us, we must assume he's quietly seized control of the city's surveillance system and has been using it to monitor our activities, to monitor what you, as the key holder, are planning. But since Calyx is the ultimate recipient of these transmissions, the flow of data is likely a river that we can follow back to him, which is why I need the data relay. If I can analyze the device and see where it's rerouting all this surveillance traffic, then you can pinpoint Calyx's position. That said, he has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes me think I might be on entirely the wrong track. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping us is because he can't. Back in the old castle, Calyx said he was measuring Tycho's strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than him? Oh, speaking of cameras, there was another thing I meant to mention. I found evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. The most recent recording was also crudely deleted. I was able to restore the data, though if you'd like to see it. Okay. I'll start the show then. Okay, show it. What's going on here? Okay. Plane to leave. Huh?
永遠の生というものが怖くなってしまって。私はまだこれまでの常識を捨てきれずにいるんだわ。生命は死によって自らの種を淘汰し最適化してきた。進化を望んだからこそ死ぬのよ。それを止めてしまった先に本当に人類の未来があるの？もしそこにあるのが果てのない停滞だったら、私たちのやっていることは。
その発言はカリクス様を否定することになる。
And that's why I'm leaving.
彼と同じ視点を持つことができたら こんな不安も抱かずにいられたかもしれない。でも無理よ。私は彼じゃない。何もかもが違いすぎる。非凡な才能を持っていることも、なのに病のせいで成人まで生きられないと言われていたことも、全ての無駄を切り詰めて研究に没頭していることも。彼が苦境でも負けずに努力して死を超越する手段を勝ち得た点はもちろん尊敬しているわ。けれどその生への執着が正しいものだって確信できない。だから私は組織を抜けて、これからは次の世代に後を託すために精一杯生きたいと思う。あなただって。
You were talking too much.
離反する者は始末しろと言われているのでな。
Yep. Yep. No one leaves. She only wanted to leave and he executed her. I checked the images against the personnel data, and the man who pulled the trigger was Director Demetrius himself. Everything I could find on him pointed to a deep infatuation with Master Calyx. The cameras in this room have been out of operation ever since that incident. Given that the recording was erased, I can only assume he was trying to conceal his grisly deed from the other researchers. I'm not surprised, given how my parents described their defection from the Institute. They spoke of rushing me through a portal even as preservation agents closed in on them. I dared not ask what became of them after that, but if it turns out they were captured by their pursuers. I'm sure they managed to escape. They did not regret their actions. Right, the Echo. Knowing you saw them as they were, your words give me great comfort. Oh, Kryl. Worry not, Sphene. Thanks to the Haven of Living Memory, I was at least able to meet my parents and learn what they stood for. It's enough for me to carry on. Even now, we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents and the preservation, but what we do know is that your mother and father cleverly expunged every last trace of their movement. They made sure no one could cross into the source or threaten their child's safety. Right, let's press on, shall we? This tale behind the key deserves a fitting conclusion. To the director's office. Okay. Hearing Kryl talk about her parents reminds me of how much I miss Namika. I guess I'll never really get over it. If that man in the recording was Director Demetrius, then this must be his office. My early investigations put the data relay past this door. Let's get it open. I don't expect to find any information on my parents in this next room either, and that's something I can be proud of. Good. Was Calyx the one who gave orders to execute defectors? The more we learn about him, the less I understand. Gang device. It waits silently for a security card with the appropriate level of clearance. Find the relay, and so don't be shy. Everyone speak up if you find anything that catches your eye. Tycho, come with me. I might have need of that security card. Director Demetrius was very peculiar about how he decorated his office. We've got incense and vases and some kind of gem display. Something odd, something odd. My apologies, I was thinking about the key. There's a report on reducing people to ether and how much ether can be harnessed per individual. Damn, this terminal isn't connected to any outside network, so it can't be the data relay I'm looking for. This office is also smaller than the map suggested. I'm positive we were in the right room. What am I missing? Sorry, Tycho, could I ask you and the others to search the office for additional clues for this infuriating puzzle? There's nothing here, but you know. The now active coffee maker has already entered a self-cleaning cycle. It appears to have no other purpose beyond brewing coffee, though it remains to be seen what it'll be able to do once more, bro. Secure room lift access. Requires password to be input simultaneously. Are you serious? The proto lab, the Deutero lab, and the director's office. Perhaps this would be different according to Shale. Okay. The collection of soul cells may have once belonged to the director. They appear to be empty. Yeah. Among other personnel effects, you find what is presumably the director's data tablet. A closed locker stands next to the table. Examine the data tablet. You pick up the tablet and begin skimming through the contents. Daily reports. Nothing of note. The mystery of the key's activation conditions remains unsolved. The key triggered an explosion today. Temporary interdimensional portal verified. Continued attempts to stabilize the core's energy reactions. 13 researchers sustained fatal injuries in the explosion. Memory faculties of 4 personnel sufficiently intact for endless conversion. Shit. Remaining 9 designated for aether reclamation process. Nothing of note. Rejected resignations of 2 Malala researchers. Major incident details in full report. Those 2 inept Malala broke with preservation and absconded with the key, though the fugitives have since been caught and eliminated. We were too late to recover the relic. The only reason we retained our flesh was to serve Master Calyx as physical instruments to conduct his experiments. Deprived of the object of our research, our existence serves no further purpose. I dare not imagine the depths of his disappointment in me. The complex is to be shut down. All personnel will have their bodies reduced to ether, which will be allocated for further experimentation. Memory data will be archived. Any endless conversions will be subject to Master Calyx's discretion. If he does not deem us fit, then we are not deserving of eternal life. What the fuck? Shutdown protocols. All personnel have undergone processing. Once the shutdown protocols have been completed, I will proceed with my own corporeal dissolution. As long as the key remains in the physical world, we must keep this complex in pristine condition, whether it be needed for experiments or otherwise. It must be ready to support future operations in whatever capacity Master Calyx requires. To that end, facility equipment will be maintained in stasis mode. Furthermore, a critical component for secure room access will be stored separately to defend against unauthorized entry. Stasis mode. Fuck, dude. Wait, a critical component For secure room access will be stored separately to defend against any unauthorized entry. Okay. You look at another. Can I take another look? Yeah. The door swings openly. That's so creepy. There's nothing of note. You quietly shut the lock. Wow, bro, that was hella creepy, bro. You found something? Thank you. A misplaced note, was it? With instructions for accessing a secure room, no less. Seems we need to enter a password on 3 different terminals at the same time. There was no such room marked in the map, was there? No, a precautionary measure, no doubt. And if passwords are involved, I expect the access lift itself is concealed too. Concealed? By electrope, you mean? Ah, could it be that wall? I thought it seemed odd when I walked past. Remember what Kakua used to say, Shale? Never trust an electrope surface. Electrope isn't always what it appears to be. Oh, of course, electrope is how you alter the look of all of Solution 9's floors and walls, isn't it? In which case, it shouldn't be too hard to disable. Another door. I've managed to just deactivate the projection, but the lock is another story. Didn't that note lay out the password protocol? I say we go ahead and try it. I agree. 2 people should prepare the lab terminals for input, while the rest of us look for passwords here in the office. I'll take the proto lab, and I'll take the deutero lab. Actually, it might be better if you stayed, Sphene. Your knowledge of Alexandria and his people could be needed here. Yes, you're right. If the passwords are hiding in behind clues, that might be something I can help with. I can help too. I've lived my whole life in Alexandria after all. I'll take the deutero duty then. We can keep in touch via communicator to match our timing. Tycho, you shall have the honor of entering the office password. Once we've determined what we need to input, take your place at this terminal. I stand by to guide Wuklamat and Kryl through the process. You know, there was that display plate over there. The one with the gems. I thought, since it might be made of electrope, it might have some other purpose. But I couldn't find any switches or buttons to do it. What? I couldn't find any switches or buttons to make it do anything. Maybe you can figure it out? That? 3 gems. Found a cube puzzle made of electrope. Perhaps to solve the puzzle. You got it. Let's see if I move this bit, I connect this circuit here. There's something inside. It's a pretty gemstone. I'm thinking it might be an Alexandrite. They say these gems are so treasured in the past that they named the kingdom after them. Here, you should hold on to this just in case. Yep. I should take a closer look at these reports. One of them might have hints to the password. Here we go. Two jewels are embedded in the electro plate. You identify a blue gem as sapphire and the red gem as garnet. There also appears to be an empty slot for another jewel to fill. Yes, insert the Alexandrite. Okay. The gemstones fit snugly, almost Immediately afterwards, the glowing lights of the diagram appear on the display, accompanied by a short phrase. Could this represent an arcane circuitry? A floor plan of this complex. As you continue studying the display, you realize that these shapes correspond with the rooms of the complex in which you now stand. This may be related to the passwords you were looking for. The slot contains sapphire. Its place in the floor corresponds with the proto-lab. The slot contains a garnet. It's a place in the floor that corresponds to the deuteral lab. The slot contains an alexandrite. Its place in the floor plan corresponds to the director's office. It appears to be handwritten. Yes, I knew that jewel would come in handy. Let me see. Heed the stones. This must be about the special meanings alexandrites have for gems. It's an old belief, I think, where each type of gemstone means something different. I bet if you ask Sphene, she could tell you more about it. After all, even her name comes from a gemstone. Yes. Yes, if you have questions, you go and ask. Symbolism of alexandrite. Well, I was taught that alexandrite represents the concept of protection. That is, incidentally, also the origin of Alexandria's name. Are you thinking this has something to do with the passwords? A sapphire and garnet as well, you say? Yes, they all have meanings. Alexandrite, as I said, is protection. Sapphire represents honesty, and garnet represents devotion. Okay. We should try these words in the terminal and see if they're accepted. Really hope you're right. Okay, let's try it out. We're all set to go here. Willamette and Kryl are just waiting on their passwords. We'll start with Willamette in the proto-lab. What should she enter? Honesty. And the password that Kryl should enter in the deuteral lab. Devotion. And lastly, what should we enter? Protection. Right. We have all three passwords ready. Now to enter them into the system at the same time. Oh. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad that worked. That secure room is the only place we've yet to search. If the data relay is anywhere, it has to be there. We'll venture in as soon as Willamette and Kryl rejoin us. We did it, thanks to you and a little bit of thanks to me, I hope. Great work, Tycho. Leave it to you to divine passwords from an ornamental display. Speaking of gemstone symbology, for Alexandrians, Sphene holds the meaning of eternal light. Yeah, I can see that. When my parents named me, it was with their wish. It was with their wish that I become an unwavering beacon of hope for our parents. To think on it now, I have ever shared that destiny with my other self. Well, that went well. Excellent clue finding, Tycho. Alright, everyone, time to board the lift and see what awaits us.
が探してたやつなのか？
ええ、うまくいけばですけどね。
トワビトって記憶から構成されているでしょ。けれど記憶自体は言ってしまえば情報に過ぎない、実体がないっていう意味でね。いわば情報体である彼らが現実世界に干渉するには2つの方法しかないわ。一つがリビングメモリーで出会ったトワビトたちのように生命エーテルで仮初めの肉体を作るという方法。見えて触れられる幽霊みたいな状態ね。そしてもう一つがカフキワさんのように機械を遠隔操作する方法だけど、実体化していない時彼らはどこにいると思う？トワビトは記憶、記憶は情報。
Inside Electro somewhere. In a world form of data.
そう。きっとエレクトロープ製の機械の中に情報で作られた記憶の幻想世界があるんじゃないかしら。私たちは実際それを目にしているしね。
エターナルクイーンにたどり着くまでの記憶の中のアレクサンドリアか。
じゃあその記憶の幻想世界がメインターミナルの中に構築されてるってこと？
けどよ、リビングメモリーのターミナルは私らがシャットダウンしたはずだよな。
ええ、間違いありません。カフキワさんが用意したハッキングプログラムは想定通りの結果をもたらしました。メインターミナルはシャットダウンされ、その証拠にスペーンの体を低温保存していた装置も機能を停止していたわけです。ただ相手はエレクトロープ技術の天才。彼なら自分の記憶が保存された領域を密かに守ることも不可能ではないでしょう。
Yeah.
メインターミナル内に記憶の幻想世界が存在し、カリュクスもそこにいるとして、一方でこの街は今原初世界側にあるでしょ。なら二つの世界をつないでいる黄金鏡の扉を閉じてしまえばカリュクスの干渉を防げるんじゃないかとも考えたのだけれど。
リビングメモリーを調査した時に試してみましたが、管理者権限でロックがかかっていたんですよ。あの時は戦王が設定したものと思っていたのですが。
カリュクスが手を回してたかもしれねえってことか。
うん、やはり間違いないですね。今もキープ中の監視映像が機関システムから収集されてどこかへ送られているようです。それもあなたが映っている映像ばかり。おそらく鍵の持ち主を追跡しているのでしょう。
時間だ。
Time's up. And what a waste of time it's been. Oh shit.
.監視映像の送り先を特定して俺の居場所を割り出したかったんだろうけど、その必要はもうない。 お前の力を測り、それを倒すに足る戦力を用意する。なかなか手間のかかる仕事だったが、ついに完了だ。来なよ。メインターミナルの上部区画に俺の記憶を収めたエレクトロープの装置がある。それを壊せばお前たちの勝ちだ。俺はあの手この手で迎撃して鍵の奪還を狙うとしよ
う。その誘いに乗らなかったら。
待つだけだ。粛々と国民の永遠人化を進めながら。お前たちが時間を無駄に費やさず賢い選択をすることを願っているよ。
おい、一つだけ私の質問にも答えろ。お前は戦王に永遠人のスフェーンに無理難題を課して追い詰められたあいつが鍵を使うように仕組んだ。そこまでやれるならあいつの計画が破られた瞬間、鍵がこっちの手に渡る前に回収することだってできたんじゃねえか。
痛いところをつく。あればかりは誤算だったと言わざるを得ない。消える間際に再構築された永遠人としてのスフェーンの心。メインターミナルの制御機構と一体化していた彼女はあの瞬間あの場所でだけ俺をもしのぐ権限を有していた。そして守りおおせたのさ。国の未来を託した隣国の王と鍵を託した英雄を。俺の存在をどこまで認識していたかは定かじゃないが、覗き見には気づいていたというところだろう。これで満足。
ああ、お前にはもうこの国の大事なものを渡さねえ。命も未来もスフェーンが愛した笑顔も何一つとしてな。勝手を言って悪いけど、私はカリュクスと決着をつけることを迷わねえ。あいつが思い描いている未来がどんなに上出来でも、そのための犠牲を厭わなかった奴は必ずまた誰かを泣かせる。私はそれを止めてえんだ。
He's wrong if he thinks he's taken our measure. My measure, bro.
さ、この私が言うべきことじゃないって、それはもちろん分かってるんだけど、でもありがとう、二人とも。 託したのが君たちでよかったって。もう一人の私に代わって伝えさせて。
That was an adventure. It may not have been by the method Shale was hoping for, but at least now we know where to find Calyx and what we need to do next. Indeed, while I remain curious about Preservation's research into the key, that is an investigation for another day. Then let's head straight to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. Shell has been out of sorts ever since we got back. I don't think she liked what Calyx said, but don't worry, I'll do my best to cheer her up. It was my other self who entrusted you with the key. Though she could not change who she was, the consequences of her final choice linger, empowering us to shape our own future. I've passed on the short version of the events to our comrades so that we can all prepare for the challenge ahead. Aaronville's here too. It's time to put an end to this. Calyx won't stop until we stop him. The situation isn't the best out there, but at least you've come back to us safe and sound. Damn that bastard Calyx. He waited until I was this close before snatching up my moment of triumph. And that infuriating, condescending way he spoke to us. We'll see whose time is up, you smug little weasel. Anyway, I know things didn't go to plan, but we learned a great deal about preservation. That knowledge will come in handy in the days to come. Though I may not be able to contribute much to a direct confrontation, I mean to see this through with you all, providing whatever support I can. Psycho, we've briefed Aaronville on everything that has happened and sent a word to the others. We've now but to consider what our next action will be. Calyx has offered you the opportunity to confront him directly. And though it feels much like striding face first into an ambush, we have little choice. If we are to destroy the memories he supposedly has stored in the upper reaches of the Meso-Terminal, then that is where we must go. While I'm still upset at being deprived of my moment, I nevertheless did my due diligence. I can confirm that the relay we found was indeed transmitting surveillance data to a device somewhere in living memory. Then you go to fight Calyx. Pray, let me fight alongside you. Oh, when you go to fight Calyx, pray, let me fight alongside you. Let me fight for the memory of Otis and Zelenia, and for the other Sphene I may have become. But most importantly, for my beloved kingdom and a joyful tomorrow. It has always been your fight as much as ours, if not more. Of course, with no reckless heroics. If things take a grim turn, I'll keep you safe. Thank you for understanding what this means to me. I'll be coming with you as well. You know my reasons. Hardly needs saying, but your fellow Scions also have every intention of accompanying you in battle. So adamant were Alize and the others on this point that they have already left for living memory. I am more than ready to do the same. I'll keep patrolling the streets for signs of trouble, especially from anyone wearing neo-regulators. Should you need anything from me, I'll be on standby here in the back rooms. I really want to go with you too, but I know I can't. I know that sometimes you have to be patient and trust in your friends. Good. Oh, Tycho, Kryl and I think we should talk to Gosan before we leave for living memory. Under Calix's direction, preservation has helped shape Alexandria's society for centuries. Taking him down would have serious consequences, and we need to warn the officials in charge about what we intend. Justifications aside, we will be acting against the wishes of all who desire to become endless. Exactly. We don't know if Gosan will approve or oppose our chosen course, but either way, leaving without a word is the wrong thing to do. Come, we should be on our way. Resolution first, yes? Be safe, everyone. We'll see you when it's over. Even people from my village have taken to wearing neo-regulators. I can only hope it doesn't end badly. Government officials must be feeding demands from all quarters. I do not envy Gosan his position. The air is thick with a sense of unease, not least around Gosan himself. I see Gosan's wearing a neo-regulator. He'll have some thoughts to share on the subject, I'd wager.
そうですか。事情は分かりました。王不在の状況でプリザベーションなる組織が国の行く先を定めるなどあってはならないことだと思います。しかしあなた方を支援しカリュクス打倒を掲げることは到底できません。
それはあなたが黒いレギュレーターを装着しているからですか？
利用者登録はまだ。死を恐れる気持ちと政を司る者としての意地で板挟みになっておりました。私が懸念しているのは永遠人になるという手段が断たれた時、ここまで高まった死への不安をどう鎮めるのかということ。加えて先の機械兵による襲撃事件、それが永遠人を作り出すために起こされたものならなおさら皆への説明は難しくなりましょう。家族や友人を殺された方々にとって永遠人化を止めるということはつまり愛する人は無駄死にしたのだとそう突きつけられるに等しい。つい最近まで死の悲しみを知らなかった我々にそれはあまりに酷な話ではありませんか。一体どうやって乗り越えろとおっしゃるのです。
それを他人に教えてもらおうとするのはもうやめようぜ。 俺たちはずっと先人が作ったシステムとスフェーン様に守られてた。生きることの難しさも責任も遠ざけて、そのために命がけで頑張ってくれてる存在にさえ気づかずに、守られて当然って顔をしてきたんだよ。でももう終わりだ。俺たちはこれから知っていかなきゃならねえ。死に向かって生きてくことや悲しい別れにどう向き合うかってこと。知ってもなんつうか好きにはなれないだろうが、そんなもんかって思えるかもしれないだろう。だって外の連中は昔のアレクサンドリア人だってそうしてたんだ。俺たちにやってやれないわけがね
お前ら。
That's a lot of character development on this kid.
マラカイトさんに声をかけてもらってオブリビオンから事情を聞いてきたんだよ。国の一大事とあっては手をこまねいているわけにもいかないからね。どうすべきか私たちなりに考えをまとめてきた。
結論から言えば私たちも彼らとオブリビオンと共に戦うことにした。戦うと言っても私たちが戦力になれないことは承知している。
ですが相手の目的が死の恐怖を煽ることなのであれば、私たちにもできることはあります。隣人に声をかけ、必要以上に恐れる必要はないと、今の生を大切にしようと説得することはできるはず。それはあなた方の助けになりませんか？
助かるに決まってる。ええ、きっと大きな力になるわ。
すでに利用者登録を済ませてしまった人の意志は固い。彼らを動かすのは難儀ですが、まだ迷っている人も大勢いるはずです。そういった人たちに呼びかけてみましょ
お補佐官さんよ。あんたに襲撃事件の被害者を悼む気持ちがあるのなら、今はまず被害者の数を抑えることを考えようぜ。
彼らの命を使って永遠人になったとしたら、私はきっと後悔し続けたでしょうね。申し訳ございません。民が惑える時こそ寄り添い導くのが祭りごとでありました。アレクサンドリアはこの悲しみも乗り越えて未来へと進んでいける。そうですよね、スフェーン様。
はい、もちろんです。じゃなくて、違うんです。今のはただ。スフェン、落ち着け。ラマチ名前言っちゃってる。
Bruh. They already know. Look, the hood ain't hiding shit.
あんたがあのスフェーン様と瓜二つだってことはみんなとっくに気づいてたよ。 私たちが愛した彼女とは別人だってこともね。素性を隠して誰にもなれずに、あんたも辛かったんじゃないかい？戻ってきたらあんたのことをあんたの言葉で教えておくれ。どんなにすっとんきょうな話だって受け止める覚悟はあるからさ。見捨てたりしないよ。同じ国に生きる仲間なんだからね。
約束します。無事に戻ってくるって。そしてみんなとたくさん話がしたいんだ。
That we were to hear the will of the Alexandrian people. Now it falls to us to see the rest of it through. It was a relief to be freed from my indecision. Until I had removed a regulator, I hadn't realized quite how heavy it weighed upon me. Sphene must be overjoyed to be so welcomed by her countrymen. For their sake, we need to bring her back safely. Everyone was so warm and welcoming. Alexandrians are, as ever, a stalwart people. How glad I am to be home. Thank you, Gosan. That decision must have been difficult to make. If only I could claim the courage to do so came from within. The final push came from Alexandria's citizens and their bravery in taking the first step towards change. Speaking of which, can I ask you to lock that neo-regulator away where no one can get to it? That should prevent the registration from reaching the target number. Why can't you delete it? Like, just take a hammer and boop, 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 you know, but okay. I should be glad to do so, but I fear it would be to no avail. According to our most recent surveys, the number of neo-regulators in circulation exceeds the stated 5,000. I surmise the surplus units are to account for those like myself who have had a change of heart or are otherwise hesitant to register. Ah, that does sound like something Calyx would do. Well, we'll have to face him either way, so no point in delaying the inevitable. On to living memory. Alright.
Machiの様子は相変わらずか。
だからさ、必要以上に怖がんなくていいんだって。まずは深呼吸でもしてみようぜ。
悪くないな。残された側の世界も。
It's a little Kakua keychain. Stola. Seems Alphino and Alize were the ones to explain to Koana our need to enter the cenote. He urged us to be careful, extremely careful, of course. Coming here reminds me of my parents, of the courage they gave me. I had scarcely awakened here when I fell unconscious. Now that I can fully enjoy the gentle silence of this place, it brings tear to my eyes. Last time I had to wait in the cenote, but there's nothing to stop me from joining this fight. It's good to rejoin you all. I needed to step away briefly that I might make arrangements for a certain precautionary measure. We've all been so busy, it seems an age since last we gathered in such a manner. I must say, we do make for a formidable group. Tis good to see our comrades hale and girded for battle. As for us, we've been ahead to inspect the lay of the land. There were no changes of note, aside from within the mesoterminal itself. Why? What's happened with the mesoterminal? The wall has receded to provide a convenient entrance into the structure's interior. There was no such ingression when we last were here, so I must assume that Calyx has since manipulated the terminal's electrope. All to facilitate his most gracious invitation to the upper levels. An invitation I am eager to accept. For the sake of all who love Alexandria, I will not yield nor leave them to despair. I believe everyone determined to be here is present and accounted for. Shall we make our way to the terminal? We wouldn't wish to keep our insistent host waiting. Do it. Oh look, an entrance now. This is where the former queen's memories were stored, and she herself tried to erase them. Even as an endless, her resolve was so strong that she would kill her heart to become the cold machine she believed she needed to be. Living memory is steeped in the dense lightning ether of the ninth. This pervasive energy, it must be what the terminal utilizes as a power source. I remember little of my awakening. The paralysis yet lingered, and my eyes could barely focus. An endless existence for the evolution of mankind. I understand what he strives for, but not what drives him to do so with such ruthlessness. It hadn't occurred to me that one might physically enter the terminal. Although I suppose it makes sense with you when you think about it. A structure for creating Endless would have required maintenance administered by corporeal hands. When we shut down all the minor terminals, we watched as the Endless faded away. I do not believe that was a performance staged to deceive us. As for the mesoterminal, however, it had already grown dark by the time we had returned from the virtual domain. While I am loath to admit it, it is possible its true appearance was hidden from us in our absence, which is why we must bring this tale to its denouement by our own hands. Well, here we are again, facing another battle to decide Alexandria's fate. For centuries I slept here. Upon awakening, I found the world as I knew it had changed. I was so frightened at first I couldn't recognize a single thing, and thought everything I loved had gone to dust. Yet beneath the unfamiliar surface, much remained the same. For that, I give thanks to Otis and Zelenia and their royal knights who lay their lives on the line to defend our way of life. I thank every Alexandrian who believed in our future and passed on our legacy. I thank my other self who so loved this kingdom of ours. And I thank you all for kindling this hope in my heart, this courage to take up arms and fight once more. So let us make our stand together and fight for what we hold dear. The kind and gentle Queen Sphene was too weak to serve her people, and so she will serve them no more. Freed from conscience, I will become a ruler that can protect Alexandria, a devourer of worlds. Together we stand, together we fight. We will rise to the challenge that the endless Sphene could not. That we shall. Her wish to see Alexandria endure is one I am happy to fulfill. Let's head inside and finish this. In the upper reaches of this terminal awaits the device which holds Calyx's memories. It falls to us to make the climb and destroy it once and for all. Aye, we must bring matters to a definitive end. Will not suffer him to cause Alexandria further harm, nor claim the key. The Queen entrusted it to Tycho for good reason, and besides, 'twould be a tragedy indeed to relinquish a relic with so much research potential. Apparently, Calyx thinks he's taken your measure. I urge you to correct that misguided assumption. I wholeheartedly concur, yet would still counsel caution. That he would be so bold as to extend us an invitation bespeaks tremendous confidence in his preparations. Come, friends. We set forth into the midst of dreaming endless. The metal terminal, now accessible. And this is where I gotta stop. We run the terminal with the boys. We do the terminal with the boys. Yep, that's what I gotta do. All right. And it's 12:27, so it's time to go to sleep. So time to bed. Good night.